A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sweet Reality Kenya TV. I am your host, Otieno Isaiah. Today on Sweet Reality Kenya TV, we are so humbled, so excited, so happy to host the one and only mighty coach of the Scorpions, Musingu High School, Mr. Johnstone Mukonyi. Mukonyi is a retired principal and former soccer coach of Musingu High School and Malava Boys and Motcom AFC. He taught at Musingu High School and Malava Boys before becoming the principal of Lugusi Secondary, Ndivisi Secondary, Namulungu Secondary, and Tande Secondary. Welcome aboard, Mwalimu Mukonyi. Karibu sana.
Thank you for the invite, Mr. Otieno Isaiah, to Sweet Reality Kenya TV.
Now, coach, out of all the players you have coached, who is the greatest? Who is the greatest of all the players you've ever coached?
My best player was Mike Wambani Computer. Munyendo was also among the best. Mike Otieno was one of them. Kefa Tasso. I think all those were very good players. Tom Ombogo was one of them. Let me just stop at that, maybe, for the best players.
Mwalimu, tell us about yourself just briefly.
I'm Johnstone Mukonyi, born in a village called Nambilima, Nambilima Primary School. I'm a Kabrasi from North Kabras, Kakamega County. My educational background, I started my education at Nambilima Primary School. Then I went to Meru Technical School. After Form 2, I went to Form 3 at Rift Valley Technical School, Eldoret. After Form 4, I went to Mombasa Polytechnic to do Form 5 and 6. After that, I went to Kenya Technical Teachers College to do industrial education. That was electrical technology and physics. I then registered for a degree course at the University of Nairobi to do double mathematics.
Bwana Mukonyi, when and where did you start your teaching career?
My teaching career started at Musingu High School in 1979. I taught there for 10 years, then left for Malava Boys High School, where I taught for 2 years. 1 year I was just a head of department, and another year I was the deputy of Malava Boys. And from there I went to head Lugu Secondary School. After Lugu Secondary School, I went to Ndivisi Secondary. After Ndivisi, I went to Namulungu, then Tande Secondary School. All those as a principal.
Mr. Mukonyi, let's now go to the real thing. Coaching. When did you start coaching and where?
Now, coaching. My coaching career started at Musingu High School. That is when I had just been posted. Indeed, I had interest in soccer. And when I reached there, I found that the school was actually supporting soccer in a big way. And Mzee Stanley Ashtiba, who was the deputy then, was also coaching the school team. And I liked the way he was coaching. So I decided to understudy him. I was with him part of 79, 80, 81. And then he left for Bungoma High School to head Bungoma. I was left in charge of the soccer team from that time. And during that time, I took Musingu High School soccer team to the nationals 5 times.
Wow, 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 wow. 5 times. What an achievement.
And out of the 5 times, I was able to capture the trophy once. And in 1985, I missed it by a whisker. I lost at the finals to Homa Bay on post-match penalties.
This is to say that you only concentrated on school football coaching.
Now, while at Musingu, I also did some coaching in Kakamega. I assisted Chris Makoha in coaching Motcom. We coached Motcom in 1983, 84, 85, 86 together. But anyway, from around 85, Makoha was incapacitated due to his sickness of diabetes, and I took charge of Motcom in 85 and 86. And at the same time, there was a team called Mali FC, which was also interested in me. I was also trying to help them. In fact, I helped them quite a lot to understand soccer.
Mwalimu, what do you pride yourself of?
Now, in the soccer area, I think I made some achievements. And the achievements I made were, one, I mentored quite a number of young fellows to become very good players and very good coaches. Most of my players also became coaches of various teams after, reaching maybe the time they could not continue to play. They became coaches. Some of the coaches are like Dennis Munyendo, he became a coach, Kefa Tasso, Gabriel Olang, Joseph Tietie Serenge, Mike Wambani, all these became coaches. Now, the players that I made, indeed, I cannot say that I put the talent in them. They had their natural talents. But I did a lot in trying to polish these players. For example, I will get players who are very fast, all right, but they have no skills and they are not polished. I will concentrate on polishing the areas of their strength. For example, Mike Wambani, computer, was a very fast player. And initially, he didn't know how to control the ball. He didn't know how to shoot correctly. And when I stayed with him, he became wonderful. He could shoot with both legs very effectively. He could control the ball very well. He could dribble very well. And he could make passes very well. He had a problem with heading. In fact, anytime we wanted to use Wambani, we would say, try to make sure that you give Wambani ground passes. And that is where his strength was. Now, I had many other players, but I just want to mention a few that went perhaps beyond Musingu and played for senior clubs like AFC Leopards, Gor Mahia, Kenya Breweries, Scarlet, and the others in the Super League, which is today called Premier League. Mike Wambani Computer, Johnstone Kefa Tasso, Dennis Munyendo, Ada Odhiambo, Mike Otieno, Tom Womboko, Andrew Mugala, Maurice Magomere, Enoch Momanyi, Gabriel Olang, and others. In fact, I've just decided to mention a few, but there were many. And I was very, very happy with these players. Anytime I went to the field, after giving them instructions, I would start smiling when I see what they are doing on the field. Sometimes
That's wonderful.
I will go home when I'm just laughing. And in fact, that made even my wife to like soccer because anytime I left the field, he will see my face smiling and he will say, then that is a wonderful game. I should also be accompanying you to go and watch these boys play. She really liked soccer because of the way I used to appear after I have come from the field. Now, in coaching Motcom, I was with people like Vitali, Imonje, Atonya, and others. In fact, Atonya is now a very good coach, and he was my player in that Motcom team. I had people like Chaga, a very good defender, Ingutia, Jared, all these were in that Motcom team, which used to be a crowd puller. Whenever we went to a club, say Nairobi to play against Gor Mahia or AFC or Kenya Breweries, which is Tusker today, the stadium will be full because of the kind of soccer that the young men used to display. I'm so grateful. I want to say that this coaching also made my name. In fact, it made quite a number of people to know me. I would even say that this is what made it so easy for me to become a principal.
Any advice to the youth coach?
Um, my advice to the youth, and I know we have very many talented youth, is that they should be disciplined and they should work hard in the field of soccer or any other field. Our motto in Musingu was Nidhamu na Bidii, which is loosely translated as discipline and hard work. Discipline and hard work can take one anywhere. And in football, I know many of the young fellows who got themselves involved in drug taking wasted themselves. But those who never got themselves into that kind of habit went very far. And I would advise this youth to desist from drugs and respect people who are giving them direction. Coaches should also be patient with young players. It takes time to polish a young person to a level that you want. So it should not be like something that is going to take a week or 2 weeks. A coach must take his time, identify the strength of every player, and polish that, and at the same time try to bring in other things which can assist the player to play better. On the part of the government, I think it is impossible to have good players. It's hard to have players at the higher level when we do not have youth teams.
That is very true, coach. What do we do?
We have to come down and start from the grassroots. Let us see how we can develop soccer right from the grassroots so that it is easier for our big teams and for our national teams to do well. That means the government should invest in youth uh, uh, groups so that we can get these fellows polished right from the beginning.
Coach, you look happy. Tell us about your family.
Now, on my family, I want to say that I'm married with 6 children, 3 daughters, and 3 sons. All my daughters are also married. Only one son is married. The other 2 sons are not married, but we are looking forward to that.
If asked to name the first 11 out of the players you've coached, how would you parade them? Who is your best goalkeeper, best fullback right, best fullback left until number 11?
First 11 is not easy. These fellows used to come at different times. And you see, every year I will have a team, maybe with the changes. And somebody will come in to take a position which has been left by another very good player. And that would mean that now I have to start gauging that one differently. But I want to say that I had very many good players. And if I were to come up with the best 11, it would be very hard. But let me try. First would be goalkeeper John Kaboya. Then 2, position 5, I would use Enoch Mukonyi. Position 4, I would use Gabriel Olang. And position 3, I will use Were. Position 2, I will use Lijodi or Ahonya. Position 6, in the midfield, I will have Odhiambo, Dennis Munyendo, Kefa Tasso, and Mike Otieno. Then even Tom Mboko will come in. I will also have Andrew Mugala. Then on the wings and perhaps central striking, I will use Mike Ambani, Magomere, even Oigara, Wekesa, and Odongo. Odongo was so good until he was nicknamed Abunuasi, Alufayo Odongo. I'm sorry if I've left others out, but I had very many good players. That would make a lineup that I will begin with, at least somewhere.
What is the one thing, coach, that you'll never forget in your coaching career?
My best experience was in Mombasa in 1984 when I won the national trophy against Kakamega, my biggest rivals. In fact, I was so excited because I beat my home rivals, my biggest rivals, Kakamega High School, taking the trophy from Chris Makoha. A lot of excitement.
Mr. Mukonyi, while at Musingu High School, the one person we hated most was Chris Makoha, the coach of Kakamega High School. How was your relationship with him when both of you were coaching Motcom?
Now, with Motcom, we had no problem with Makoha because even to coach that team, we had sat together, 3 of us, Stanley Ashtiva, Chris Makoha, and I, to discuss on how we could improve Motcom. And we agreed that we should all put our heads together and try to improve that team. And at the same time, use our schoolboys to try to improve the team and also polish our own young fellows through the team again. So it was something that we had agreed together, and it didn't bring any problems. After all, Makoha was my friend. We were teaching the same subject, physics, and we used to meet quite often to discuss matters to do with physics and how we could improve it in our schools. So the relationship was already there. There was no problem even when we were at Motcom. Then when Makoha fell sick, obviously I was the one to be left with the team alone because Mr. Ashitiba had moved to Bungoma High School to head. So the team was left to me and I had to move it forward. No problem. Makoha used to come, even with his problem, he could come and talk to us. And we kept on visiting him wherever he was when he was undergoing his treatment of diabetes and the cataract problem. He had a problem with the eyes until there was some kind of operation on the eyes. So those are some of the things that I I observed, and I don't think even if we did the rewinding of the clock, I would regret anything.
Talk to me about the Scorpion cheering squad. Did it help you build the team?
Thank you, Isaiah. Uh, the Scorpion cheering squad was very powerful. In fact, we used to get funds from within the school and from the village. Uh, because of the support that we had from the cheering squad, we used to play very well. In fact, our students were so enthusiastic about our school team. They used to give us a lot of support. In fact, whenever we went to play anywhere, most of them would walk on foot, like to go to Chavakali, Kakamega, and or even Iregi, because most of our competitive matches were in Kakamega Buhung Stadium, or Chavakali, or Iregi. And imagine, we didn't have a bus to carry all these fans to those places, but we would reach there as a team and find that half the school, or even more than half the school, is already there, singing and cheering, singing and cheering. I liked the support that we used to get from our students and even the villagers. Villagers would also walk on foot to go to wherever we are going to play. So excited. And this used to give us a lot of strength.
Who are some of the few players you would count as that if it was not for you, they would not have become what they became? Which are the players you molded from nothing to something?
Now, there are some players that actually I took and moved from actually nowhere up to wherever they reached. And some of them, I would say, are like Masika Ingunyi. Masika Ingunyi, to me, I think he didn't even believe in himself. He didn't even know that he was a player. But when I looked at him, I just told him, look here, you can be a defender. And I took him to the field. He didn't know how to control the ball. He didn't know how to kick the ball properly. But I said, because I know there is something you can do, I'll, I'll polish you until you become a good player. So what I did to Masika Ingunyi changed him. He became a good defender. In fact, most of the fellows that I moved from almost nowhere to somewhere were defenders. The other one was Ahonya. Ahonya went on to play for Scarlet Team in the Super League, which is Premier League today. The Jody didn't even believe that he could be a player, but he really improved until he became a very good player. So these are some of the people that I moved from nowhere up to wherever they reached. And imagine they played for teams in the Super League. Thank you very much.
Now, viewers and listeners, imagine we've come to the end of this very exciting interview. It was a pleasure meeting you, Mr. Mukonyi.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to have been with you on this Sweet Reality Kenya TV.
Thank you so much for coming to Sweet Reality Kenya TV studios. Asante sana. Mungu akubariki.
Thank you so much, Otieno Isaiah. May God bless you. Johnstone, Mukonyi, Mukopi.
Viewers and listeners, that was Sweet Reality Kenya TV. Your presenter, Otieno Isaiah.